Hello and welcome. You are watching UATV News with me, Ksenia Bugay. Let's start with the latest developments in Ukraine. Ukraine is ready to join NATO and the European Union. This was stated by President Volodymyr Zelensky at the All-Ukrainian Forum, Ukraine 30, International Politics. According to him, the acquisition of full membership will guarantee security and prosperity for Ukraine. In turn, the state and citizens have done enough to find out the exact date and conditions for Ukraine's accession both to the European Union and the North Atlantic Alliance.
Однозначно, сильні.
Unambiguously strong signals were included in the statements of the G7 and the US-EU summit. It is worth noting the decision of the recent NATO 2021 summit, which confirmed that Ukraine will be a member of the alliance. I always say that the EU and NATO projects will be not completed without Ukraine.
Meeting between President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky and President of the United States of America Joe Biden is scheduled for the end of July, but the exact dates are still unknown. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dnipro announced this at the Ukraine 30 Forum. According to him, during the visit, the Normandy format, Donbass and Crimea issues will be in priority. In addition, Zelensky and Biden are planned to discuss American investments, the development of trade between the countries, as well as the reforms being carried out in Ukraine.
In addition to the meeting with the US administration, there will be many other events. Meeting with the representatives of the International Monetary Fund, meetings with the Ukrainian community, with American business. This is not just a visit to President Biden. We will talk about what can be the optimal role of the United States in the process of stopping Russian aggression and the deoccupation of Ukrainian territories. Whether it is through direct participation in the Normandy format or some other parallel way or a track that intersects with the Normandy format. It is all a matter of conversation, but it is not the time to make assumptions.
Greece supports Ukraine's course towards the European Union and NATO. This was stated by Greek Foreign Minister Nikos Dandias, who pays a visit to Kyiv. He also assured that Greece, being a member of North Atlantic Alliance, is working upon clear security rules and supports Ukraine's actions in the Black Sea region.
We will continue supporting Ukraine on its way to joining the EU and NATO. We are likely to become Ukraine's perfect ally in the European Union, and we are interested in developing our relations, because Ukraine is not only part of Europe, but our neighboring state as well.
Ukraine will not allow neither restriction of freedom of navigation in the Black Sea nor its militarization. This was stated by President Volodymyr Zelensky in Odessa on Sunday at the celebration of the Day of the Naval Forces. This year it is taking place in the midst of the Sea Breeze 2021 international military drills, the largest in its history. President of Ukraine called the protection of the sea and coastal regions of Ukraine the main thing in the exercises. At the same time, according to the head of state, the first modern co-ed body for the Ukrainian Navy has already been led in Turkey. It will be completed at the Ukrainian shipyard by the end of 2023. Also, Ukraine is actively cooperating with the United States and Great Britain in the development of the Ukrainian fleet.
Next year, the American side will pass Mark VI high-speed combat boats to Ukraine. Our naval aviation is successful. We expect to soon receive modern and efficient unmanned aerial vehicles Bayraktar. Ukrainian crews to work with them are already completing their training in the Republic of Turkey.
Pfizer commented on the deaths of Ukrainian after vaccination with the drug of their production. The manufacturer believes that the link between vaccination and accident has not been proven. The company claims that it monitors side effects after vaccination in detail, as now more than 400 million people around the world got the Pfizer jab. To remind, on July 2nd, a 47-year-old man died in Vinnytsia 4 hours after being vaccinated with the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Doctors believe that the cause of death was heart problems and not the vaccination against COVID-19. This was reported in the Department of Health and Rehabilitation of the Vinnytsia Regional State Administration. As of July 5th, 244 cases of COVID-19 were registered in Ukraine. Most of the patients are in Kyiv, Zhytomyr and Odessa regions. Besides, starting July 5th, the COVID-19 vaccination center in Kyiv starts working daily. Over the past months, the number of vaccinations made in the capital has almost tripled. In general, more than 850,000 Ukrainians have been fully vaccinated. The Ministry of Digital Transformation has started testing of vaccination passports or COVID certificates in the DIA application. These are digital documents that confirm immunization against coronavirus. Ukrainians can already issue them from July 1st. However, it is not yet possible to use vaccination passports to enter the European Union. According to Minister of Health of Ukraine, our certificates should be approved for compliance with EU requirements.
In recent weeks, the EU made changes to the technical assignment, which had to be revised. The question is that they have not yet made the keys public for third countries. Now a checklist is being launched for the technical part and for the legal part. We are waiting. Their experts test our database. After that, we fill out the checklist, give it to them, and they make a decision. COVID certificates will work with the European Union only when they are approved there.
American coronavirus vaccine by Johnson & Johnson registered in Ukraine, the press service of the Ministry of Health informs. This is a vector vaccine and one dose is enough to complete immunization. Earlier, the drug had been allowed by World Health Organization for emergency use. Besides, the vaccine is also allowed in the US, United Kingdom, European Union, Switzerland, Canada, and in other states. Glass and plastic bottles, polyethylene car tires, half a ton of garbage from the bottom of the main waterway of Ukraine, the Dnipro River, was taken out by divers in the city of Kherson. The eco-action was held in honor of the International Day of the Dnipro and was aimed at drawing attention to the pollution of the river. My colleagues will tell you more.
A boat with divers departs from the embankment of the Park of Glory. The first dive is 10 meters away from the bank. And there's the first catch. Glass, plastic and rubber are raised from the bottom of the river.
This is a bottle on each 5 square meters. These garbage moves to coasts where small children swim. There's glass, beer and champagne bottles.
To mark the International Day of the Dnipro, the third longest river in Europe, the volunteers decided to clean it. According to them, the river is in critical condition. According to the report by the Accounting Chamber of Ukraine, Dnipro River is on the verge of an environmental disaster. More than 160 pollutants have already been identified on the surface of the river basin: herbicides, cadmium and nickel. The water itself contains agricultural and pharmaceutical chemicals and substances used in perfumery. Heavy metals, zinc, copper and mercury are also identified.
Recently, the Dnipro has caused concern as chemical pollution from industrial enterprises is increasing. The amount of heavy metals is increasing. We know about the existing radiation pollution in the Dnipro, and biological pollution is increasing, which is our problem because we use phosphate detergents.
Another problem is the loss of bioresources. To show people how the Dnipro is littered, volunteers organized an exhibition Treasure Chest. Here is everything that was taken from the bottom of the river.
Packages, toys that are left, a lot of packaging. There were even cases when we found a fish that was stuck in a bottle. It could not swim and died of starvation there.
Volunteers remind everyone the purity of the river depends on each of us.
We should not use disposable dishes, but those reusable are okay. Use containers instead of packages. It is very convenient to put food in them.
A few hours of the event have passed, and volunteers managed to raise about half a ton of garbage from the bottom of the Dnipro. It will all be sorted and sent for processing. Reported by Vadim Kramer and Yanina Lebedeva, UATV News.
Dances with corgi, pet contests, consultations with vets and dog specialists. The LapaFest event took place in Kyiv last weekend. The chip implantation and vaccine jab for pets included. See more in our next story.
Kyiv resident Tetiana Redkina decided to implant a chip in her loved deer, an 8-year-old cross Lucky. He trained well, but he can easily get lost in the city.
He often walks without a lead and he is usually afraid of fireworks and crack noise. He became part of me. If I lose him, it will be great sorrow.
Marina and her daughter Yaroslava came with a Maltese called Molly. They came to check the chip they have implanted earlier.
We came here for assistance. They will scan the chip and issue the due documents.
The data from the microchip that is implanted under the pet's skin is submitted to the animal registry. The info extract is done via special scanner. Pet's owners are given a token with a QR code attached to the pet's neckband.
Not every owner has a scanner, while the token makes it easy to get information by smartphone. There is the owner's phone number there. In case of some trouble, the search will take twice less time. Apart from the chip implantation, pets can get a dose of vaccine from rabies. It's a dangerous virus disease impacting the central nervous system. It has no treatment and leads to death. These vaccine shots are due to be done every year.
The vet explains the importance of the jab.
Only vaccination can impose the antibody response. In other words, in case the infected animal attacks, the pet won't get sick.
The virus is spread to humans through scratches and microdamages of skin. To protect himself and his pet, Artem has also vaccinated the 4-year-old mongrel Asa.
One-shot vaccination protects from rabies, but dogs also suffer from many diseases just like humans do. They need a vaccine. Moreover, in time when summer begins, we have a lot of ticks and other insects causing an animal to suffer from diseases they transmit.
The chief aim of the festival is to teach people how to handle animals properly, to vaccinate, work and train them, and promote the culture of dog breeding in Ukraine. Reported by Nick Starkov, Svetlana Sich, UATV News.
Players of the Ukrainian national football team were greeted as heroes at the Boryspil International Airport. Several hundred fans supported and thanked athletes for playing at Euro 2020. On Saturday, the national team lost the match to England with a score of 0-4 and finished the championship. My colleagues know more about the meeting at the Boryspil Airport.
The fans welcomed the Ukrainian team as winners. People came to Boryspil International Airport to congratulate players on a historic achievement at Euro 2020. For the first time, the blue and yellow team got into the list of 8 best teams in Europe.
The charter flight from Rome with the Ukrainian team on board was delayed by 2 hours. Fans watched the landing of the plane in Boryspil on a big screen. Finally, the players appear before fans and the press. The head coach of the Ukrainian national team, Andriy Shevchenko, thanked the fans for their support during the match with England and after the game. He noted that he is proud of the players.
I'm grateful to you for such support. It was very important for we went to the game. We thank everyone who came to support the team. We thank everyone who supported us in Ukraine. We felt your support. I want to thank the guys for the football they showed.
Despite the fact that playing with England, the Ukrainian national team got an extremely strong rival, the Blue and Yellows created episodes when they controlled the field. Fans wish their favorite team not to lose heart and remember the most successful moments from the matches of the European Championship. There, the Ukrainian team for the first time in the history won the right to fight for the semi-finals. Reported by Volodymyr and Svetlana Sich, UATV News.
That was our final story today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. More updates on our official website, YouTube, Facebook and Twitter pages.